Hi to everybody, and thank you to UUSF and IEC to having this program and for inviting me to talk about my mother's case and the struggle of the political prisoners in Iran. My name is Mariam Claren, and my 67-year-old mother, Nai Tagavi, is a political prisoner in the Islamic Republic of Iran. Nahid is a left-minded women's rights activist, therefore she is imprisoned. She was arrested in Tehran, in the capital city of Iran, on October 16, 2020, by the intelligence wing of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The Revolutionary Guard Corps are something like the deep state in Iran. They control most of the politics, economy, military, and intelligence services. They took her and brought her to the notorious Evin prison. This is the most famous prison in Iran, and it's a dark place known for mass executions and torture. There she spent 194 days in solitary confinement and was interrogated 80 times for a total of 1,000 hours, all the time without legal counsel. Cameras monitored her 24/7. Even if when she uses the bathroom. She was blindfolded every time when she left her tiny cell and was forced to sleep on a hard floor, without a bed, without pillows. 6 months after her detention, in April 2021, she was brought to court. There she met her lawyer for the first time in the courtroom. The lawyer had only been allowed to go through the court papers 4 days earlier. A defense was impossible. In August 2021, she was sentenced to 10 years and 8 months in prison on the charges running an illegal group to disrupt national security and 8 months for propaganda against the state. Nahid was sentenced in a group case. Along her, there was Mehran Raouf, a workers' rights activist, Bahar Soleimani, a women's rights activist, Somaya Kargar, a women's rights activist. All of these people were sentenced to many years in prison. The Islamic Republic of Iran is criminalizing their freedom of belief, freedom of speech, freedom of thought. That's why they tried them on Trump-up charges. That's why the trial was a sham, conducted behind closed doors with no real opportunity to present a defense. Iran's judicial system is nothing more than the medieval Inquisition were. Systematic human rights violations are commonplace. The charge propaganda against the state is the most frequent charge in political motivated imprisonments in the Islamic Republic. Translated, it means thinking is forbidden and talking about your thoughts is a crime. So the case of my mother, Nahid Tagavi, is not an exception, but her case was the reason why I was forced to become a political activist to free Iran's political prisoners. Because resistance and speaking out against injustice is the only way to stand against this cruelty. The experience had taught me the more people care, someday the right people will care. People who sign our petitions, people who complain, people who protest. The prisons of the Islamic Republic of Iran are full of people like my mother, such as lawyers, poets, filmmakers, environmentalists, and human rights activists who have dared to speak the truth, stand up to injustice, or simply have an opinion that challenges the authorities who are in charge. These people deserve awards, not bars. Our fight and solidarity are so important to the prisoners. Going public with their cases is the only way to protect the prisoners. And when we say the life of Iran's political prisoners hang in the balance, it's not symbolic, it is reality. I want to give you an example. Bakhtosh Optin, a prominent poet, writer, and freedom of speech advocate, and also board member of the Iranian Writers Association, has been imprisoned since September 2020. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison on charges of propaganda against the state and assembly against national security for peaceful actions, including publishing documents about the Iranian Writers Association's history and statements against censorship. A few weeks ago, he caught COVID for the second time in Evin prison. The authorities did not allow him proper medical treatment. After his health deteriorated, they brought him to hospital, finally, where he has to be put in a coma. When I wrote my statement a few days ago, I wanted to end that we wish he gets well soon. But yesterday we received the shocking message, Bakhtosh Optin is dead. Bakhtosh's death was a planning murder by the Islamic Republic of Iran. The regime has a long history in killing intellectuals, dissidents, and other thinkers. Bakhtosh was murdered because the Islamic Republic of Iran was afraid of his pen. He was a brave, resistant fighter and always stood on his opinions, even in prison. The world lost a poet, a writer, a symbol for resistance. Bakhtosh is the second political prisoner who dies in custody in 2022. This year is 9 days old and 2 murder of political prisoners happened. What is going to happen the other 356 days? What I want to say is the prisoners are brave and they are resistant. They count on us, and it is up to us to be their voice and to fight for their freedom. Change only happens when enough people join in standing up against injustice. For Bakhtosh and for everyone else who is wrongfully imprisoned in the Islamic Republic of Iran, I want to end up my speech with, I think, one of the most famous sentences in Farsi. It meant free Iran's political prisoners, زندانیان سیاسی آزاد باید گردند. Thank you for having me, and I'm going to give the mic to Dr. Azam Niromandrat. Thank you.